SEO doesn't fail because of keywords. It fails because the goals aren't defined. Here are the 3 reasons companies do SEO and how to get leads in the first 90 days of an SEO campaign. I wanted to record a quick video that kind of covers why SEO campaigns fail. And it's not probably what you think. Most of the time an SEO campaign is sort of kicked off by a marketing manager or by somebody who's just looking to increase visibility or get more content out there or build some authority up or kind of fix the technical side of the website. But in reality, in order for an SEO campaign to be successful, you have to define from the very beginning what the measure of success ultimately looks like through goals that you're setting for the SEO campaign. And those boil down into 3 buckets typically. Oftentimes, the 3 buckets that SEO goals break down into are visibility, revenue generation, and marketing health. Now, the number one really here is revenue generation. I know it's at the center of my spire here, but it really is sort of like the number one goal that that SEO really is executed for. So what that means is we're looking to use this strategy to get more leads for our business. If that's the case, then we have to think through what the first 90 days of the project looks like, and then the ongoing health of the project. So what I always like to determine at the beginning of a campaign here is what are the pedestal keywords for what we're going after. Those are going to be the revenue generating terms for us. If somebody searches this concept, category, term, what, fill in the blank, whatever that is, that will directly tie into revenue for us. So oftentimes for local businesses, there's going to be a handful of these, and then they need to add what's called a modifier to those keywords. So local modifiers signal a more direct target audience for us. So for example, if I want to order a pizza, I'm not going to search for a pizza in, California if I'm in Ohio, right? I'm looking for something that's local to me. Now, the reason these local modifiers matter isn't so much because the user's not smart enough to know if I'm local or not. It's because these local modifiers will signal to Google when Google identifies where the visitor actually is, where the user actually is. They're going to assign a local kind of element to that user, and they're going to tie that user directly to something that they can identify as being local. So what that means is you have to write local content, even though the user doesn't search for the term specifically that includes the location. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So for example, I'm a user, I'm going to search for pizza near me or pizza, fill in the blank. If I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I search for pizza, Google is going to associate me with pizza places in Cincinnati. For those companies to be found, they have to modify their content to the location that they want to be found in. That's what these local modifiers are. So oftentimes you're going to see successful SEO strategies for home builders and law firms and dental offices and fill in the blank that have landing pages dedicated to specific markets that they want to be found in. Now, when you have more services than just a single one, now you're multiplying the number of pages that you need per location, because let's say I want a pizza. Oh, you know what? Tonight I don't feel like a pizza. I feel like a calzone. Okay, well, maybe I need to search for calzone Cincinnati. If your site needs to have, if your site does not have a local page specifically for calzone, this is just an example. If it doesn't have a local page specifically for calzone, but it does for pizza, then Google might not associate your website with that specific search that I have. So a better way to think about this would be, if I just need a cavity filled, but I don't need braces, if you're a dentist office that does both, you need a separate page for both for each market, for each geography. So you would definitely need a braces Cincinnati page and a cavity filling Cincinnati page. That's what a local modifier is. Knowing what the pedestal terms are, keywords are that are going to drive revenue, and understanding the local modifiers that are associated with those terms. The next thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that your interlinking strategy is sound. So as you install new content, you want to signal the relationship of that content to other pages around it. So for example, if you have sister pages like braces Cincinnati, cavity Cincinnati, root canal Cincinnati, dental implants Cincinnati, you want to make sure all those pages link to each other with the appropriate anchor text to signal to Google why that page is on the site and what its relationship is to the other pages that are on the site. All of this needs to be considered in the first 90 days of your strategy if you're trying to generate revenue. What are the pedestal keywords? How are we going to build those into the site? How are we going to modify them locally? How do we link them to the other pages that are nearby? And how do we do this all within the first basically 90 days of a strategy? This is where you're going to get your leads, your sales, and your revenue from. Another goal that you might have for your SEO campaign is visibility. And so when it makes the most sense and why authority matters in this regard is if I already have maybe some leads coming in, and I'm trying to figure out how can I expand my reach and get, more trust, more visibility up the funnel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build middle funnel content and top of funnel content that's going to be more educational and informative. This is going to be really, really powerful for AI search as well. I'm going to put that in here, AI search. So making sure that these middle of funnel and top of funnel articles get published, it's going to create visibility and more brand trust, more awareness. So mid funnel, top of funnel, trust, and brand recognition. That's really what that goal of an SEO strategy is going to serve. I don't recommend doing this until you have revenue generation really knocked out of the park. The last one here is going to be marketing health. This is a goal that that companies will set for their SEO strategy when they already have these two boxes checked in a big way. So this is mostly going to boil into technical SEO, technical site health. What this is not going to do is this is not going to allow you to go out and rank for net new keywords. It's going to strengthen your site and allow you to rank for terms that you either used to rank for or that you potentially should be ranking for now that you don't. But if you don't have your revenue generation terms and pages set, you don't have your visibility pages or even strategy set, then the technical health marketing health approach probably is going to be a little less important than the other two. This is just going to be very large companies that already have a very high amount of exposure, high amount of lead gen through the website, and are just looking to make sure everything's buttoned up appropriately. So marketing health, what it solves, it allows Google to better understand all of the kind of the crevices and the nooks and crannies of your website. It's going to signal kind of connectivity across the entire website. And it's going to allow for you to, really just button everything up so that you're not, maybe bleeding traffic or causing disruption without realizing it in the user's journey, which over time will lead to a detriment in SEO visibility. Also, if you have a very strong push of SEO and your SEO is in a great spot, and then you start to sort of neglect it, this can be a good way of kind of reining back in what potentially is missing, or reining back in some scope creep or some SEO creep that you might have kind of going on, where it's like, hey, we hired this new person and they write things differently, or they build pages differently, or they do, have a different approach. This type of project is really going to help button that up to make sure that you're not losing SEO performance over time. It's very project based. So this is not going to be a, hey, every month we do this. It's going to be based on like, hey, let's maybe run a technical audit every 6 months or every 3 months and implement best practices that we see, and then do a download of, hey, this is what we saw from 3 months to 3 months, period over period. We noticed that a bunch of new pages went live that were missing meta descriptions or that had duplicate title tags. Okay, that's good to know, because now we can actually kind of solve for that and provide recommendations and best practices to make sure that doesn't happen moving into the future. So it's very project based. It does not need to be a every day or every week type of thing. So existing strength in SEO, authority and visibility, or again, potentially if you want to increase conversions and make sure that your site from a technical standpoint is converting users as they come to the website, and not disrupting their flow in some capacity. So those are the three major reasons why somebody might begin an SEO project. So determine what your goals are on the front end. If you are if you are looking to increase revenue, then obviously prioritize the first 90 days around the revenue terms, backlinks, interlinks, local modifiers, pedestal keywords. Visibility is going to be all about increasing how much trust you have in getting AI visibility, and then marketing health is going to help button everything up so that the conversion tendencies of the website all work very well. I'm going to pause right there for this video, but the next steps for an SEO campaign really are to conduct an SEO audit and to run some keyword research. No matter what strategy or goal you have for the effort, those are typically going to be the next two steps. So my name's Scott. I'm the founder and creator of Easty Marketing Group and Overnight SEO, which is a proprietary strategy of deploying heavy amounts of SEO very quickly into your business, and then building authority to those efforts over time to increase local market lead generation and revenue generation. So if you're looking for support as a hands-on project, let me know. I also provide coaching and can help kind of establish the best practices and kind of a coaching recommendation internally for your marketing team or you specifically inside the business. So please subscribe to the channel if you found this video helpful, and I would love the opportunity to just take a peek at your site and see kind of where there are some opportunity gaps that you have the ability to start to claim here in the near future. So appreciate you hanging on, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.